Bill, what are we doing today?
We are going to switch these 3 ball pythons to frozen thawed. They normally eat live, but we're gonna switch them to frozen thawed. And I'm gonna kind of go over how to do that and some benefits of feeding frozen thawed over live. These are definitely well started. This one's so you really don't want to try switching them when they're still babies. You want them feeding consistently. So we're gonna try this one. Let's see if he'll come out. So he might. Well, usually I get them feeding very consistent, on live, and then I will not feed them for 2 or 3 weeks. Like this one could obviously go no problem for 2 or 3 weeks without eating. And then usually they're so hungry they smell the mouse or whatever you're feeding them, and then they just take it. So this is the first frozen thawed this one has ever ate. So, and then we just put the lid on that and feed them outside of their cage. So we're going to try this one. This one's the same way about. So we just kind of offer it to them. Usually they'll take it, just like that. And like I said, these are obviously well started. So that's why these are easier to get to switch to frozen thawed from live. These are basically the night before I get, whatever frozen thawed I need out. And some of the larger one, like jumbo rats or large rats, I just leave them out and let them thaw out overnight, because first thing in the morning, I feed them, so they're not out that long. Like with the mice and like smaller rats and stuff like that, I'll put them in the fridge and let them slowly thaw out, and then in the morning I will come and I'll just pull them out, put them in the snake room, which is warmer, for like maybe an hour or 2, and they are basically at room temperature. Pre-killing a live prey item prior, so it's still warm. Sometimes that'll initiate that, or like in the past I've used with personal snakes and that, I've used a hair dryer just to get that like little bit of warmth. But these are like taking them right about. See, this guy's ready. He's and once they have a few frozen thawed meals in them, then they're pretty good. But I mean, it still smells like a mouse.
Here's your pick your snake.
Sometimes they are a little more finicky.
These guys ate last week, yeah?
Yeah, so I mean, they're due to eat today. Maybe kind of wiggle it. Sometimes you can just lay it in there. Like a lot of these, I could just lay this in there and they'll end up eating it. Mm-hmm. But since this one has never ate one, he could be a little bit more on the shy side. Ooh. Tell you what we could do. This works too, but you have to be, you kind of got to watch what you're doing. You just lay it under a heat lamp. You don't want to forget about it, because otherwise it'll
cook.
When you go to pick it up, it'll just like fall apart,
yeah. Which
is kind of nasty. So. But I have done this as well.
And never microwave them.
No.
What happens if you microwave them?
They blow up. Basically, they cook from the inside out. So, and you run the risk of the snake. It might feel cooler on the outside, but the insides might be just like super hot. And when the snake eats it and it starts to digest, they could possibly harm the snake. But,
had to have one.
Yeah. And obviously when they don't take it, you can maybe feed them. You don't want to go too many weeks without feeding them. So this one doesn't look like it's going to take it. So 2 out of 3 is pretty good. So. Some of the benefits are you can buy multiple rodents at once and keep them in your freezer, and then just feed them off as needed. And then plus, as you get into the larger prey items, they can and will bite your snake. I have seen snakes get their eyes bit out if they grab it wrong, like grab it from behind by the butt. The mouse can turn around and he's actually, he's going to try to defend himself. I've seen some, pretty intense injuries from live, jumbo rats and like small rabbits and stuff like that. And obviously you don't want to leave these. You can leave in the cage for, a few hours. You don't really want to do that with live rodents because they will, attack the snake and everything. We've seen horrible instances of the mice or the rats just shredding the snake down to the bone. So I prefer frozen thawed over live. And obviously there's some snakes that will, probably never switch over if they're super picky. But in my experiences, most you can't get them to switch over.